What's up, everybody? Claudio here from Northern Knights Gaming. We have a few leaks from one of my main armies, Thousand Suns. Anthony's not here today, unfortunately, so we can't do a rapid ingress, but it's coming this week. We're doing rapid ingress, and we have a lot of hot topics we're going to be talking about. Just looking through some of the things right now. This is pretty exciting. So, Thousand Suns have a new Codex coming. It's coming in a few weeks. We have some pretty consistent leak news, and we're gonna go with this because the sources are pretty good, and one of them is Tactical Tortoise, our friend over at Tactical Tortoise. He rated us last week, great guy, and we were watching some of his videos this week, and we said, you know what, there's a lot of consistency in these leaks, so let's make a video about it. Was talking with Kenny last night, who's another Demons player, one of my friends. He's been on the channel many times, and he thinks this is legit too. So let's go through this a little bit. Let's see what a Thousand Suns are gonna get. It looks pretty nasty, but no more. I don't want to spoil it. Let's go. Let's just get into it. First of all, the army rule is going backwards. We're going back to somewhat of a psychic phase. I like this. You have to actually roll to get your abilities. You don't just do them anymore. So this is the basic army rule. You get 4 rituals, Doombolt, Temporal Surge, full rerolls against a unit, and Twist of Fate. Any psyker may cast these, of course. The full rerolls, I don't know the name of it, but that's why we wrote full rerolls. We don't know the name of all the rituals yet. But these are, I mean, we're keeping the core stuff from the last book, so they're gonna get to do Doom Bolts. There's gonna be some changes from what we hear, but each one can be attempted as many times as you want. If you don't pass it, you can keep trying, but once you do pass it, that's it. You gotta wait until next turn. So that's pretty good. You know that if you cast it once, and back in old rules, if you tried to attempt a spell and you failed, you couldn't do it with another character. They've kind of changed that and revamped that over editions. So it's good to see that they've kept, you know, you can do multiple attempts on those casts. And I do like Thousand Suns. I like Psychic armies being able to roll their abilities. There should be a chance to fail. They shouldn't just go off. It shouldn't just be like an ability in your at the bottom of your data sheet where you just get this great ability. You should have to roll. There should be some, you know, chance there. And that's why I loved Psychic Phase so much, because there were so many things you could do. Now, here's the thing that's kind of cool, because this was never in any Psychic edition that I know of. Rituals have warp charge values, but you roll 2d6 to cast them like you always do. But you can choose to take a third dice now. So when you really, really need a spell to go off, you really need a Temporal Surge to go off, you can take a third dice. You just have to take D3 mortal wounds on that character. If it's Magnus, not a big deal. If it's, you know, a character, you know, like Aruman, still not a big deal, 6 wounds. But your smaller guys, 4 wounds apiece. If you take D3 mortals, you take 3. It could be very costly, especially if they've taken damage. I like that. I like the fact that they give you the option to, you know, not auto pass, because you can still roll really bad, but it gives you a big boost to your psychic ability, because these guys live in the warp. Like, these guys should be the best psychers, along with like Eldar and things like that. They should get these kinds of buffs. It just gives flavor to the psychic phase, as well as makes them a little bit better than other psychers and other armies. So I like the third dice, and the D3 mortals, I think, just balances it off. There has to be some sort of give and take from that. You can't just get a super buff like that without taking a little bit. Is there something else they could have done there besides mortals? Because mortals kind of just feel bad when you do them. I think they're just keeping in line with like every other kind of hazardous weapon. I think that's basically what they're doing. You're hazarding yourself there to just get a better cast. I like it. It's easy. It's simple. It's not going to take a lot of time to do. And on to the next one. Remember, psychic abilities are only done by psychers, of course. Like I said before, these are only going to be sorcerers that can cast this, so it's going to be guys that have multitude of wounds, so you don't have to worry about like auto-killing somebody with a D3. But it could stack. So here's how that happens. If you roll a double or a triple, any double or any triple, Triple's going to be a harder thing to do, but if you watch NKG, it happens. Especially Anthony, he rolls those triple ones sometimes. Not lately though. He rolled a bunch of sixes with the new NKG dice from Baron of Dice. Go check them out. I'll put them in the link below after this video. They're great dice, and Anthony's rolling hot with them, so you know they're good. But like I said, if you roll any triple or double, any double, you take D3 more mortal wounds. So if you do cast a super spell and you get that third dice, and then you roll a double, you have potential here to take at max 6 wounds on a character. That can for sure delete any of your lower tier guys, and that would even hurt Magnus a lot. 6 wounds to himself would not be good. I don't know if there's any regeneration spells. We haven't heard anything like that. I don't know if Magnus can heal. That would be really good, but we haven't heard anything like that. So here's another good thing. You don't have to keep looking. One of the things that I hate, because there's enough you need to remember for these types of armies, because there's so many things they can do. I hate looking at spells being, this one's 12, this one's 24, this one's 36, this one's 18. Everything's 24-inch range. All their spells are 24-inch range and require line of sight. There's no shooting somebody from behind a building. GW learned their lesson with that one, especially with the indirect fire. I'm going to hit them with my entire army, and I don't need to see you. That's gone. 24 inches, and you need line of sight. It's good. Simple. I have a lot. I have them right here. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but when I go to tournaments and stuff, I made some magic cards. They're at the back. And they just have all the abilities. I got this idea. Where did I get this idea from? It was from Jim Vessel. He used to do this with his demons. I liked it. I'm like, I'm going to do my own. And I just went to Staples and got some cover art, wrote it down. And because you can go to, I forgot what it is, Magic. If somebody knows, Magic card maker, whatever it is, custom Magic card maker. You just make it there, put your art in, and make your own cards for your army. It's an easy way to keep track of your stuff. I like this. I like that they're bringing back the kind of old flavor to Thousand Suns and going back to the original Psychic Phase kind of abilities. But we'll see, how much more there is to this. Than this is just the initial leak that we're seeing here. There's more to it as well. So rituals have 2 values now. So you have your ritual effect. You have the first value and the second value. So the second value is going to be usually a super buffed version of what the rule is. So oaths is a reroll 1s on the lower value, or that's what I think it's called. They're saying it's called oaths, but it's not 100%. Is reroll 1s on the lower value, whatever it is, probably like a 6 or a 5. And if you roll the higher value, which is maybe 8 plus, or I'm just speculating at this point, but the higher value is going to be reroll everything. So these are the kinds of effects that it makes it more. It doesn't feel as bad when you get Magnus moving his full movement. And first of all, they got rid of that for Temporal Surge now. It's very minimal. Like, you're only going to move D6. We're going to get to that. Twist of Fate. So AP1 on the low roll, AP2 on the high roll. We're going to get to this as well. Thousand Suns Rubric Marines are going to have so much AP on their weapons, because before you didn't even think about taking those Infernal bolt guns. You just take all flamers and a Reaper cannon, because it does mortal wounds on top of it, to stack with the old ability of stacking mortal wounds. Now you could just auto kill a unit, because we're going to get to it, but Rubric Marines are really jacked up now with this effect. So there's a lot of synergy with the spells now, which I like. Doom Bolt is still there, but it's a D3 now on the lower value, and then a D3 plus 3 on the higher value. So there's no 3 tiers anymore. Or before it was D6, D3, D6, and then D3 plus D3. I don't know. D3 plus 3. Either way, very simple. Only 2 now. Temporal Surge, D6 movement up to D6 on the lower value, or 6 inches on the higher value. So there's no more full movement for like the big fast units of doing that. Magnus moving 14 plus 14. I think that's done. I think we're not going to see that anymore. It was a little bit OP. I hope there's just some kind of ability where he can get more movement, but nothing's been talked about that yet. So we will see. Getting into the detachments, before I get into the detachments. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Rafael. It was D3 plus 3 and then D3 plus 6. If was it D3 plus 6? Yes, it was. You're correct. Yeah, that was nasty. I remember that. Oh, Thousand Suns. Why did they get nerfed so hard? I know why they got nerfed, but they'll be back now. That's good. I think that's fair. I think you guys can agree. D3 mortal wounds on a low value, and then on the high value, you're minimum 4 mortals. That's like a good grenade, a really good grenade. Um, so I think it's fair instead of doing 9 mortals. The thing is, the reason why they give, in my opinion, the reason why the Thousand Suns had that much mortal output is because they really didn't have a lot of units that could shoot and do otherwise. Like you had the Vortex Beast, but very swingy, and then Magnus was the only really output for that. Besides that, you're not taking a lot of shooting with your Thousand Suns most of the time, so this was a way to offset it. But I think they're going to get a lot better now with what you see with some of the detachments. Let's get to the detachments now. Vehicle detachment. There's no names here, so these are just like what we've seen and just giving it a name. Vehicles, because this is for vehicles. While you're within 6 inches of a psyker, reroll 1 dice for anything once per phase. So you just reroll one thing that you want as long as you're within range of a psyker. Deadly demise on a 5+ for your vehicles, so you might be able to like throw them in there and blow things up, like orcs do. They're auto explode. 5 up is nice. Doing mortals, more mortals. That's what Thousand Suns are about. Enhancement for Warpsmith style stratagem for sticky mortals, so you can do your sticky mortal abilities. I give these a grade. I think I graded this one C-. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of taking that. Like Thousand Suns are going to be good with their infantry, so I don't think I would be running anything like this. But if you come up with something with Forge Fiends, it might work. I don't know what you would take, Predators and some bigger vehicles, but not for me, I guess. This grade is my opinion as well. So if you come up with a list that's really good, show me, please. Zangor Detachment. This one's nice because Zangors have not been really good. By the way, the Codex lost cultists. I think this is going to be the theme for all the demons. Sorry, for all the chaos armies. There's no more cultist and like all the god detachments. So you're going to see cultists only be in like core chaos armies. So Zangors are really good. First of all, you can take them in squads of 20, so just keep that in mind. This is going to be dependent on how expensive they make them, because they're gaining a lot of abilities. We saw Poxwalkers go up 10 points, which is not that bad. These guys are a little nastier. I will go over their data sheet after, but before that, this detachment rule only affects Zangors, Vortex Beasts, and Spawn. So basically the beasts and demon type Zinchi mutations, the mutants. When attacking, they suffer D3 mortal wounds to themselves, and you reroll everything. So again, it's like that pain for power, or like the chaos detachment. I forgot what it was. Pack bound zealot. No, not pack bound. It was another one. They just roll and then they get buffs. Basically, you roll your mortals, and then you get to get buffs from it. And this one is pretty good. Reroll wounds of 1 for Zangors is not that bad, especially when you take leaders with them. They can hit on a higher value. You're going to get a lot of attacks with them. They get 2 apiece. They do have rend on their weapons, especially if you take the blades. So not too bad. Zangor battle line get +1 OC. So that's really good. They're battle line already. So they're going to be 2. If you can make these guys 3 OC with 20 Zangors with 3 OC each, even if you lost 16 of them, they're still going to out OC most things in the game. That's insane. And they also have a stratagem for a 4+ invuln. That is crazy. That is really good. Just the only thing they're missing is get them back to 2 wounds apiece. That would be just insane. 20 Zangors at 2 wounds apiece, rolling 4 up saves. Just brings 6 units of 20. Amazing. And when you see what they can do, it's even worse. I like this detachment a lot. I don't know if it's going to be the most meta, because it's looking like a sorcerer. They want it to be more of like a sorcerer detachment. You could run your spam Kroot list here, like the way Tau does. But I don't know. I would love to see somebody run a 120 Zangors or whatever they can run with the Enlightened as well. That'd be hilarious. This is better than the vehicle one though. I give it a B plus for obvious reasons. Much more utility to it. And then we go to the next one, the most simple, or at least it's written the most simple. The Demons Detachment, and I'll give you the grade right off the bat because there's only one thing that it does. Demons cast the army special rules. That's it. They get the army spells. The demons get to do all the things that Thousand Sons do. That's pretty good when you have, some greater demons running around casting their spells, plus they get an additional spells that synergize with Thousand Sons. I like that. There has to be more to this. This is a good start though. I like that they can synergize with the army, not just exist separately. They less of a soup and more of a unified army. Like you feel like you're taking an extension to your codex instead of adding to your codex like we're doing now. Like when you run, when I was running World Eaters and I was bringing in demons, it didn't feel like they synergized at all. It just felt like I'm bringing a Bloodthirster and some Bloodletters, and they're their own thing. They're gonna go in this corner and slash at some things, and they don't feel like they synergize very well. Now it looks like they're trying to get that done, and I like that. I like that they're gonna try to make armies fit together better because I'm gonna tell you, GW is very PTSD'd over 8th edition soup. It really ruined the game. It scaled up so fast that they couldn't control it anymore, and this is basically why the reset happened. That was the start of it. Space Marines came out at the end of 8th, and they were super powerful because they had to make them that strong because they just couldn't deal with some of the soup lists at the time. And I think they're going to be really smart now when they're doing when thinking of soup. They're being very cautious with how much they're going to allow you to do. And I was talking to Kenny because our friend Kenny knows a lot about demons. This is one of his main armies, demons and chaos. And he was like, I just let demons come in and do all their stuff plus the other stuff. And it's like, yeah, that would be nice, but how hard is that? Would be so hard to keep control of because it could get out of whack very fast. You could have so many combos and combinations that you can do with that. I would love to see it, but I just don't think GW is going to allow that. So this is a good start though. Sorcerer Detachment. This is, and again, it's nobody's going to be shocked that this is going to be A or maybe A plus detachment for them. They want you to take sorcerers. They want you to cast spells. This is what Thousand Sons is all about. So choose between. It's going to be kind of like the Gladius thing. So there's no more. I'll let it out if you haven't heard it yet. If you haven't heard any leaks yet, there's no more all game long devastating wounds for Thousand Sons. We knew something was coming. I kind of flirted with this idea. I'm like, watch them cycle us through like, Space Marines and just, make you choose one. And that's exactly what they did. So you're going to get +1/+2 wound for Psychic, which is great. That was, by the way, an aura ability for Magnus. +6 range for Psychic weapons. Pretty good. And devastating for Psychic. So you have to now think where you're going to put these because like you play Devastator Doctrine or whatever doctrine in Gladius, you have to think where you want to do this. So are you gonna turn 2 Magnus has a beat on a big unit? Are you gonna go for devastating right off the bat and then waste it and then nothing else gets devastating? Or are you gonna save it? It becomes more of a strategy, less of a this is what I just have. And I think it's good. It's gonna stabilize what they do mortal wound wise. I think a lot of their weapons are still going to have mortals on them, or devastating, I should say. But you're going to have to think a little bit more when you want to pop this, and then you just cycle through. You get one for each turn. There's going to be 3 turns. You get one of these buffs. Not bad. You also have ability only for active for 1 turn. Cycle through, what I just explained. It cycles through. Destined by Fate stays, so you get to keep that. There's also a strat. To give 1 unit one of the 3 abilities. So like in Gladius as well, they get to choose 1 unit, put it in Devastator Doctrine. You're going to do the same thing here. You can pick a unit that has a lot of output and be like, devs, every turn you're going to do that. So you're always going to have 1 unit at least to have devastating wounds. I think, honestly, that's fair. That's really fair the way that works. Not everybody's going to be able to spam devs all game long. You'd get one turn of it to do it nicely, and then one strong unit can get it, or wherever you need it most, you throw on some devs there. I like it. It's only for psychic weapons, by the way. It's not like you can't put this on like a flamer or something. It's only for psychic weapons. Arcane Vortex and the Crystal enhancements stay exactly the same. So you get to uppy downy one of the units, and the Vortex, you get +1 to strength and +1 damage. Amazing enhancements. I think there were auto includes in the last one. Lord of Forbidden Lore allows a double Doom Bolt once per game. So there's no more double Doom Bolting every single game. And not only that, they're bringing in the army over here. I can hear helicopters. Lord of Forbidden Lore, yeah, so it was really broken, so you could have got potentially, like we said, D6 plus 3 twice. Now you're only going to get D3 plus 3 twice, once. You don't get to do it all game. You get one. It's still a really good detachment. I think it synergizes really well with what they do. And we have Leroy saying, Doombolt, triple, Lord of Change, yes, please. Yeah, exactly. That's, these are the things that people are going to start thinking right off the bat, and it's great. I like seeing that. I like seeing the excitement and people's list building. I don't want to see the same army over and over, guys. Come on, let's get some thinking and different detachments working properly, and that's what we need in the community again. We don't want to see that one list over and over and over and over again like we do right now. And I think this is kind of going in the right direction. Both codexes for like the last two I've seen, the what are they called? Smelly boys there. The Death Guard. Great codex. This is looking like another great codex. So hopefully this continues the theme throughout for everybody's army. Going into the Rubric Detachment. This is also another good detachment. Like spamming Rubric Marines is not a bad idea. They're very tough. And when you see what this detachment is, you get back all his dust. If you don't know what all his dust is, you get +1 save versus damage 1 weapons. So you are essentially a Terminator at that point. You have a button. You can spam these guys. Like you can bring 10-man units if you really want to in this detachment, 6 of them. And it's going to be really hard to kill things, especially when you have a strat to reduce damage by 1. So effectively making 2 damage weapons affected by all his dust. So now 1 and 2 damage weapons on 1 unit are going to be wounding you. You're going to be having 2 up saves, or effectively a +1 save to all of those saves. That's insane. And then you get cover on top of that. It synergizes really well with when you see what rubrics do, because they kind of counter that in itself. They negate your AP, or they get better saves against all your AP. They get cover. All of that, and then they shoot back with 4 times the AP. So their weapons are getting buffed, and all those good things. We're gonna go into that right now because we are going into the units right now, and we're starting with Magnus. It's leaked. Okay, so before I get into the points, because I'm not putting points for everybody, I just want to let people know Magnus did go down tremendously from what they're saying in the new codex. He's 420 points in the new codex. What they're saying, the rumor is, from a source that I've talked to today, that you can expect points to be 10 to 15% lower than what's in the codex. So Magnus might be 405 at best. So 405 for Magnus from 465 is a huge buff. He is, not going to be getting the same kind of auras and things like that, but he's still very, very good. 420 points. I would be happy with him going to 420, but if he went to like 410 or 405, that'd be really, really good. So again, going back into how things are casted, going back to 9th edition and 8th edition, you had to cast. There was a whole psychic phase. You had to do, roll 2 dice. You get the 3rd dice now, as I explained before. He gets +2. So Magnus is +2 to cast, and I mean that he should be. He's Magnus, the red. He can also attempt 2 rituals, so he can cast 2 spells. There used to be a freebie, like the way it used to be for psychic phase was you get normal psychers used to get 1 spell, plus they could do what's it called? What's the mortal wound spam psychic spell? I haven't done it in so long I forgot the name. Please, somebody refresh my memory. But you used to do that. You used to get a named spell and then get the. Why did I forget the most common spell in history? Somebody please fill me in here. Oh, damn it. Anyways, somebody will chime in very soon. You used to do that, so now he gets two, and that's it. There's no extra, dev wound spell. Um, why am I forgetting the most important spell of all time for Thousand Suns? This is really bothering me. Please, somebody chime in very soon. Um, Smite, yes. I'm sorry. I need a beer. I guess my brain's not awake yet, or I need water. Never mind beers. Uh, maybe that might be Smite might come back. There might be a Smite available for everybody that degrades. I doubt it. They would have talked about it already. If not, it's just going to be what we see, what we get with these abilities. Gaze of Magnus is strength 11 now. If I go back, I think it's strength 9 in the old Codex, so it did get a buff, I believe. It's AP minus 2, 3 damage with dev wounds. That's great. Zenith's Firestorm is strength 6, AP 1, 2 damage, ignores cover. The ignore cover is a nice addition. I don't think. Let me just check this quickly so I don't give you guys the wrong information. 2 seconds. Because Magnus, I don't believe had built-in devs into his Gaze of Magnus. Or I could be wrong. I just haven't played them in a while. Gaze of Magnus. No, it had devs. Okay, so not much changed here. It was strength 9 though, so it does go up to strength 11, which makes sense since he's getting a few buffs here. And let me just see if Zenith's Firestorm changed. Oh, it went up one. It went up 1 strength as well, and it gained ignore cover, but I think it lost blast. So with AP 1, I would definitely take ignore cover over blast, because especially with 2 damage, it just becomes more effective against two damage models, because now they're making a save on a 4-up instead of blast where you get a few more shots, but they're making saves on their their base armor save. So that's a good upgrade. Melee strike stays the same, but their sweep does 2 damage now, which if you ever been in close combat with Magnus, he only does 3 damage per big attack. He gets 7 though. Hits on 2, strength 16, AP minus 3, 3 damage. Now he's going to get 14 attacks at strength 8, AP minus 1, 2 damage. So much better. They're doing that to both. They're doing that to a lot of the Primarchs. You saw Morty get the same treatment. Magnus is 100% an A, possibly an A+. The only thing that would hold me back from saying A+ would be if he actually is 420 points. I don't know if that's, like, if he was closer to Morty, maybe 400 or 405, like I said, it would feel a little bit better. 420 is a bit of an ouch as far as list building goes. Moving on. Oops. Let's go to Aruman. And I have the Exalted Sorcerer as well. These guys I rated them both A's. Aruman might be an A+ because he has +1 to cast, and he has 3 redeploys. So he can pick 3 units at the beginning of battle and redeploy them. That is amazing. It synergizes well with a lot of models in this army, especially the new guys. I'll talk about them in a bit. So off the bat, great. I don't know what he's getting for his if his weapon stayed the same, if he still has that precision one-shot bullcrap that he had in the last Codex. Might have gone better. We'll see. But based on his buffs that he's getting, he's going to be very good and probably an auto-include in every Thousand Suns army. Exalted Sorcerers, they basically stay the same. They're great at their secondary objectives. They go through buildings because they don't count as mounted. They're infantry. They go through walls. They move their full movement. Yes, Temporal Surge is going to get a bit of a nerf, but they're still going to get to move a shit ton. I've been playing Eldar like crazy, and I'm taking Warlocks on a bike, and they move 14. They don't move. They only move 10 or 12. So they're moving, a little bit faster, and they get to move a little more. You get to give them +2, and you can even advance them. But these guys can Temporal Surge D6 or 6. They're still going to be able to get to points because the main thing is they can go through ruins. So the bikes in Eldar have to go around buildings and whatnot, and they still get to their points pretty easily. these guys will get wherever they need to get to, even minus that you can't do the double move anymore. 10 and 10. They're going to be good, and then of course you need one to cast your Doom Bolt. You have to. Your once double Doom Bolt per game. You got to do it. Let's go. A and A. Do I think you need more than 2 of these guys? The Exalted Sorcerers, probably not. It's going to depend on points. And what is Magnus and most have strength 8 sweep, while Angron is strength 7. Yeah, I know. Angron gets a lot more of attacks and he has a lot more buffs. But yeah, it's true. Like, why is Angron sweep? He's supposed to be the strongest of all the Primarchs, and he gets the weakest strength for his sweep. I don't know. All I know is Angron wrecks things, and he did get some bad treatment in this new Codex. I will agree with that. Poor Angron, and he comes back with his half wounds, and he can't rapid ingress anymore. Poor World Eaters. But they got some good shooting, which is crazy. I want to see World Eaters shooting. That's going to be a good change for the game. Moving on, let's go to the Princes. Not the Princess, the Princes. Both Princes. I give them a C+. I give a C+ to the Demon Prince with wings, and I give an A+ to the Demon Prince on foot. The main reason, so he keeps Glamour of Zinj, so Stealth Aura, and it's everybody, including Magnus. It just says 1,000 Suns unit. So he basically gives a Stealth Aura out. He gains Lone Op if he's within 3 inches of a friendly unit, which he will be, because you want to be giving that Lone Op, the Stealth Aura to as much as you can early game. And he grants casting buffs for friendly sorcerers. It's non-specific to what that means. I don't know exactly what they're talking about. It could be like everybody within range gains +1 to casting. And another thing with that, because if it is that, does it stack with units that already gain +2? Like Magnus has +2. Does he get +3 now? It would make sense if he did. So that would be crazy buff. Plus you're giving Magnus -1 to hit. He's, in my opinion, crazy. Like, that's insane. If he has that many buffs to his aura, it could just be a really bad blob coming your way with a Lone Op Demon Prince that's giving everybody stealth. Then your rubrics are there. So imagine the rubric detachment where damage 1 weapons give them +1 strength, and then you're -1 to hit. So you're just stacking more and more things. Plus you get cover. Like, you're gonna have units of 10 rubric marines, and they're gonna be basically Terminators at half price. So I mean, it's crazy what you can do here. So I'm gonna give him an A+ for all that. Demon Prince with wings. He has some niche. I love 6-inch deep strike. I think it's amazing, especially when you can charge out of it. Again, they're sticking with the theme that power, pain for power. So you take D3 mortals, and he can charge after that 6-inch deep strike. And Demon Princes can wreck a few things when they get into combat. And this is pretty much an auto charge at 6 inches. You have to roll really bad. I was making a joke with Anthony before I played him before the stream, and I said, I haven't failed a 6-inch deep strike with my Death Shroud yet. Like, I've made every single one in like 5-6 games. And literally after I said that, we streamed, and I failed 4 charges against Justin, 4 6-inch charges. I was like, okay. So I could swing, but I mean, with a reroll, you should be okay. So I'm still going to give him a C+ because it's niche kind of ability. I did like the uppy downy Demon Prince better, even though he was very niche as well. He also could do that double Doom Bolt, which not a lot of people did that because they just rather put it on their Exalted. But like I said, niche and could be used in some like alpha striking armies that want to get some damage, and it's going to depend how many points he is, to be honest. If he's cheaper, you might want to do that 6-inch deep strike to like not only screen but just have like a little bit of a beat stick in the middle of an army and be able to slow them down and worry about this distraction Karn effects for a little bit while you're moving up the other Marines and things are grabbing objectives and you're gaining board control. That's the only way I'm thinking of using him. Otherwise, he could be a good, if you want to use him as an objective monkey for that one turn and then charge him. I don't know. So, yeah, moving on to the next one. He is a C+ for me. The new guys, I like them. Are they going to get nerfed? Maybe. They might get nerfed, but we know GW is going to make them good, so you go and buy a few. And by the way, They're tiny. I thought they were like, I knew they weren't dreadnought size, but I thought they were like the size of at least, you know, a bigger than. Yes, I agree, Raphael. The Demon Prince on foot is a staple in most of the new codexes. Like they just give too many auras, and they do good things in other armies as well. So flamers and Hellfire missile racks, and or claw or melta. So you have to choose between the claw or the melta. The Hellfire has blast now. That's not only them. That's all Hellfire rounds for Thousand Suns have blast. So that is a good glow up for even Terminators that can take that. So here's the loadout, like the basic loadout: heavy flamer and strength 10 melta gun, which is nice if you know that. There's a lot of vehicles and things that are like T10 and T9, and it sucks when you have to roll a 5 up with your strength 9. Well, not a 5 up against a T9, but T10. Now you're rolling a 4. It's a basic melta gun. I think it's only one shot. I doubt it's a multi melta. It's most likely just a melta gun, one shot, strength 10, AP 4, D6 plus 2 damage. Not plus 2, D6 plus melta 2. If you're in range. And then you get a melee claw. If you want a melta gun, you get a little bit of melee. Totally up to the way you're going to play in your play style. And then you get a Hellfire missile rack for everyone. You hit on 4s, okay? You have infiltrate, 4 wounds per model. They're T6 with a 3+ and a 5+ invuln. That's good. That's especially when they're 80 points for 2 of them. So 160 points for 4. And like I said before, it's speculated that most of these points from the Codex are about 10 to 15 points too high. So they're going to come down a little bit more. So if these are like 70 and 140 for 4, you're going to see these spammed, guaranteed. It's going to be an auto include, especially with the missile racks and just the amount of fire, the overwatching from the flamers. And by the way, if you see the bottom there, it's free Overwatch and heroic intervention with these units. So you don't even have to spend CP. You save your CP, free Overwatch with one of them. There's no point in taking 2. Honestly, at that point, like bring at least one blob of 4, and if you want to go lighter on them, maybe a blob of 2, or 4 and 4. 3 units of 4 might be a little too much spam, but let's see how they perform on the field. Honestly, hitting down 4s is not the worst, especially when you have that many shots. And then we said, we have abilities where you can, tag a unit and just re-roll everything. So they could get nasty, and the heavy flamers are amazing. AP -1 D6 with higher strength at AP 1, ignoring cover is always good. Yes, Aruman, I wanted to make this point as well. Aruman redeploying these guys is a great combo because you can just place them as bait early on and redeploy them wherever you see fit. So, anti-infantry or whatever you want to do with them. If you want to get one unit into combat, you can put them wherever you need. And they're good, and they move pretty fast. So, fast for an infantry unit. I like them. I think they're going to be spammed. You're going to see a lot of these guys coming out on the table. So I didn't know if they were going to be OP broken or they were just going to be really solid. I think they're in a spot where they're solid. They're very solid, and they're just cheap. They're very cheap, so why not take 8 of them, Yeah. And the infiltrate is amazing. Infiltrate with these guys. Oh my god. Rhinos. So no more healing for Chaos Rhinos, it looks like. They're changing that. So you're going to get basically what a Razorback gets. When you get out, +1 to hit, +1 to wound. For the unit that only for psychic attacks and for weapons targeting what the Rhino targeted. So if it was every weapon, it'd be a little bit better. Because it's only psychic, I downgraded it a bit. But you're going to see Rhinos either way because you need to take your rubrics in them. So I'm not grading them like A means that they're going to be tournament standard. I think they're going to be tournament standard because Rubric Marines need Rhinos to get around, and survivability goes up. Plus point cost, they're probably going to be around 85 points just to match. Just seeing what they are in Death Guard, they're going to be around, I guarantee, the same. So 85 for these guys. And then, if it was every weapon, I'd say they're an A. Because it's only psychic, it's a B minus for me. But you're going to see them a lot. They're Rhinos. And remember, stratagems, if you do want to do vehicle detachments with like, I don't know, 6 Rhinos, you can just go blow them up on 5-ups. That'd be funny. There's things you can do. Rubrics and Scar. Okay, so the Alcohol Terminators are exactly the same. Hellfire has now Blast. That's it. They're the same unit. Exactly the same. C minus, because they haven't changed. They weren't good back then. They might have some synergy now, actually, in some other detachments, depending on points. But there's way better things you can do, in my opinion. So I give them a C minus. And shame on GW for not changing. Like, get them a little bit. Like, make these guys a bit better. I want to see more Terminators in the game. You're just not seeing Terminators anymore. Get these Terminators back in the name. They're such cool models. Give them some good abilities. Rubric Marines, 6-inch move now, so the treatment that Death Guard got. If Death Guard move 5, these guys have to move 6. There's no way. Is Dust slower than big fat guys? I don't know. It should be. Dust should float in the wind, right? These guys should be moving 12. So they get to move 6 inches now. That's pretty good. They same reroll thing. So if you're on an objective, they get to reroll wounds against you. Icon has changed tremendously. So this is where I was talking about stacking. The icon now ignores cover. No more extra AP on crits. So you don't get, you don't get to be AP -2 on crits. And you know why? Because they're already AP -2. Their Infernal Bolt guns are going to be stock AP2 guns. So now you ignore cover, essentially make them AP3. Okay? It's not going to stop there. Infernal Bolt guns before was like, don't even think about taking them. Yeah, who cares that they crit on 6s? Now they're AP2, essentially AP3 because they ignore cover. And on top of that, a little spell we spoke about before, a little ritual that gives you a guaranteed AP1 or AP2. So now you're going to shoot bolters that are 2 shots, AP -4, ignoring cover. And could you imagine what that can do if you spam that out? That is insane. You can delete a target pretty easily. AP -4, even on bolt guns, is disgusting. It's the entire unit, by the way, ignores cover. So even the flamers and whatever else sorcerer you take into there, they gain the icon. A plus, honestly. The Rubric Marines, and I spelt it wrong. It's okay. Ignore that. Rubric Marines are great. I spelt it right in OBS, though, which just proves I know how to spell. That's just for me. Good boy. Going on to the next one. Zangors and Zangor Enlightened. Zangor Enlightened might be the best thing in the Codex, in my opinion. Like, they're really fun. Zangors are fun, too. 6-inch scout. So we talked about the detachment stuff before. Spamming stuff out and the... making them stronger and their buffs, and we can go back and talk about it if you guys want. 6-inch scout. They have a 6-inch scout move. All they're missing is infiltrate, like their Poxwalker friends. They have uppy downy. This is not. If this is not true, I'm going to be really pissed because I have 60 Zangors and I'm taking all 60 of them. If this is true, they have uppy downy. If you're not within 9 inches. You can be so annoying with this, especially if you take big units. And then imagine if you do the Zangor spam where you could take 6 of them and have 3 OC on each. Like, what? It's insane. And then can still run. Yeah, you can still run 20-man squads. Like, when I saw 3 OC, I was like, oh, they nerfed them down to 10. And I was like, no, you can still take 20. I'm like, what? This is insane. So I'm going to put them B+ because their survivability without that detachment is going to be still kind of iffy. But 1 or 2 of them, 1 or 2 units, if the points are willing, might be good. Even just 1, uppy downing and being annoying and getting into units, screening, especially if you can break 20. Oh my God, it's going to be good. They're going to be very usable again. And they had to make them usable again because they have cultists are not a thing anymore. That's it. They're gone from this codex. Zangor Enlightened have 2 data sheets now. So effectively you can take 6 units of Zangor Enlightened. And like they did with the Bloatrone from Death Guard, you can take 6-man units. So you can really spam Zangors in general if you really want to now. The spears deal mortal wounds on the charge, I think is amazing. Definitely auto include, like I wrote at the bottom, spears remain cheap. If they remain cheap, auto include 3 units of them. If you want to take 3 units of 3 or 3 units of 6, mortal wounds on the charge is mortal wounds on the charge. It's like a bunch of grenades everywhere. The bows keep the reactive move. If you come within 9 objective guys, like I said, if they remain 40 points or 45 points, whatever they are, I think they're 45. It's good to have 1 or 2 units just to go and do objectives, and they're fast as hell. So I'm going to say A plus in general, but I think the real A plus goes to the spear guys because mortal wounds everywhere. Just this armies can do mortal wounds everywhere and in every phase. So this is mortal wounds happening in every phase of the game, and I think going back, I might say that the Zangor Detachment's a little bit better than I said. It might be competitive, like very competitive, if you do it right. Because you're seeing Kroot armies do the same thing. It's just survivability. I'm thinking it's like you can make them -1 with auras, and then you can give them a 5+ invuln. Sorry, I think it's a 4+ invuln you can give them. Let me go back to that. The Zangor Detachment. I forgot what I wrote about them. No. It is one of these. There it is. You give them a 4+ invuln. 4+ invuln. That is insane. So I really like that. I really like that Zangors are very good again. The +1 OC is insane too. Like this might be really good against even high damage armies because I don't think you can spam out enough damage to kill that many units, especially 60. Oh my god. 24. 120 plus you can take 6 units of 6 Zangors on disc, and they're all able to get stratagems from 4+ invuln, so you can make the uppy downy on all units. It's insane. That's crazy. There's so much screening and jailing you can do with this. I'm not saying go and do it, but there's a lot of jailing that you can do with this army now, and that's crazy. I'm glad to see Zangors are good again. What am I going to play? I'm probably most likely going to play the Sorcerer's Detachment first. Sorry to be plain Jane, but I'm going to go with that first, see how it does. I might try out the... I don't have enough Zangors to do this properly, but with the help of Kenny and the help of a few people, I might be able to get this on stream. You can do 120 Zangors, and we'll do the max Enlightened. We'll do 3 units of... I don't know if we can do that, actually. That might be a lie. We might be able to do all 6, but 3 units in each, and then the max on Zangors. That could be fun with some Demon Princes walking around giving their aura out for stealth. They could be very hard to kill. And with one of your front units being 4+ invuln and then uppy downing the rest and doing objectives, they could be really good scoring secondary army. They're not going to be very killy, but I like this detachment. I think I might change it. I think I might change my mind on this and make it an A. I think I said it was a B. It's going to be an A now. What did I say? Let's see. Did I say A? No. I said B+. So I was right. It's going to be an A. I'll upgrade it to A. So let me know what you guys think. What do you guys... I think Zangoras only get it. Battle line keyword in Zangor Detachment and plus... Oh, is that what it is? Okay, that would make more sense. No. No. Zangoras are battle line from the old Codex. So I don't think they've changed them out of battle line. If they did, then they would gain +1 OC for becoming battle line. Okay. I mean, now you crushed my dreams. But it's okay. 20 OC, it turns into 40 OC. It's still really good. So they're going to be battle line. So you can spam them. So you can spam them in other detachments. That means if they're removing them from battle line, you can only take 3 units of 20 in other detachments. And then this detachment, you can spam out 6 20-mans. And they get 20 OC times 2, which is 40. That's nuts. Magnus is in a good spot. I think the takeaways from this is like Bolters are getting AP2 baseline, which is huge. A lot of weapons are getting increased range. So a lot of things are getting like 20 that were 18 and 12 are going to 24. You got, cultists are gone. Mauler fiends and defilers and all that stuff are still there. Predators, forge fiends, still there. Um, Vortex beasts. I don't know what's going on with the vortex beast. Hopefully they're going to be okay. And the leak that I'm getting is 10 to 20% lower. I said 15%, but it says the Codex points as printed right now, the new Codex, the point values for each units are ranging between 10 to 20% lower. So Magnus might be 400 points on the dot, or maybe under 400. Would be nice to see. I don't know. I think this is going to be. Is it going to be super competitive? I don't know. We're going to be going to Stutter Scrub in September, and I was hoping Thousand Suns would be good enough to use because I'm going to be repping demons for the team, and I want to play Thousand Suns, but I also don't want to take them if they're weak. So this is looking like they're going to be decent. Codex comes out next week for us. I mean, we're going to get it early, so we'll be able to play some games on the stream for you guys, and I can verify all of this for you very soon. But yeah, that's all it is. Very simple, very easy. The psychic phase is back, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. The psychic phase is back. The old style psychic phase where you have to roll 2d6 and we've all been missing is back. A lot of shenanigans you can do with this army as well. We didn't go through any of the enhancements. Sorry, some of the enhancements are staying the same. The crystal, the uppy downy stuff, and redeployment shenanigans with this army is honestly phenomenal because the speed you have already initially with combined with the ability to uppy downy with so many units now, because before you had that you could go behind with one unit, you put it on a rubric unit, you keep it back, and then you can use the crystal and put them somewhere you needed. Now you have Zangors to do that. You just use your Zangoras, keep them holding your back objective, put them in spots so they're not going to get shot, keep them 9 inches away, get them up in the air, put them somewhere you need next turn. Of course, it's going to be not deep strike. It's going to be a battle, coming from the side, but still very good. You can still do a lot of secondaries like that, containment, behind enemy lines, deploy teleport homers or whatever the hell they call it now. It's going to be really good. I have a lot of faith in this army now. I think it's going to be a lot more usable. It's feeling. They were saying. People were saying. Well, even Anthony and Justin were saying Death Guard feel like they are the Chaos version of Custodes. These guys feel like they're the Chaos version of Eldar because there's a lot of shenanigans you can do with them. The movement shenanigans, the uppy downies, the not interacting with your opponent as much, but also dishing out a lot of damage when need be. Feels a lot like Eldar. So I'm really excited for this Codex to come out. We're going to start playing it on the channel and hopefully see you guys this week. Wednesday we have a stream. Thursday we have a stream. We're going to have the Monday night matchup coming out. If you like more thematic battle reports, if you don't know our channel, go check it out. The Monday night matchup is our big thematic games where we take a lot of time and make big videos, kind of like playing on tabletop style videos where they're more a lot more production, hard to make but fun to make as well, and it gives you that flavor of the game. It just gives you that fun aspect. It doesn't have to be competitive all the time. Our dice, I need to do some plugs now. We have new dice from Baron of Dice. It's on all our videos, the link to it. We're gonna make a permanent link that you guys can click on all our socials if you want to get to those. They come in 25 packs or 50. We created them with Baron of Dice. We customized them, the color and everything, the scheme. They're matte dice, so there's no gloss to them at all. They're very good if you're playing in like outside, even like you can see the color of the dice. The pips and everything. There's no glare when you're playing outside or under heavy lights. We created them because we wanted them for our studio. And the problem we were having was we have really good cameras. All our cameras are very high quality, but our dice camera is all. People are always like, "Why don't you upgrade your dice camera?" It's a good camera. It's just so much light, and when it comes to like a small object like that, when dice start hitting surfaces, especially like shiny. They're not matte. Most dice are not matte. They have like shinier finishes. It just reflects so much, so you get all these bad like. What was that, a 6? Was that a 4? What was that? So there's no more of that now. The way they made these dice is incredible. Thanks to the team at Baron of Dice, and go check them out. Support the channel if you want, and every time you buy a set, we get a kickback from them, and they keep making dice for us and handle all the logistics. So you'll get it shipped right to your house, free of shipping if you order over a certain amount. I think it's if you get over $50 worth of dice, you get free shipping. Don't quote me on that. Go check out their page, Baron of Dice. Everybody knows who they are. And that's about it. We're going to be playing 2 battle reports this week. We have a GT coming up at the end of the month. I believe Rhinos holding another X Planet, not a GT, RTT. And we have our GT. Our GT is in 2 weeks on May 24th and 25th. It's called the Toronto Grand Open. We've sold a bunch of tickets. We still have a bunch more to sell. It can hold up to 50 people. We're doing it at Battle Ready Games. It's one of our sponsors. They've opened up the entire back room. They have a big warehouse where they can fit, like I said, 50 to 70 people tournaments, and we have a lot of space to do this. We just had our trophies made. They're glass trophies. They look really nice. If you're not in our Discord, go join. This is a big plug I'm doing today, by the way, guys. Sorry, but go join our Discord and you can see all that. And check on Best Coast pairings for the tournament. It's the Toronto Grand Open, 24th and 25th. Buy your tickets if you're in the Toronto area, and we'll see you out there. And keep gaming, keep having fun. We'll see you.